They said fire was a liar, that it promised warmth and delivered ruin, that it danced prettily while eating everything it touched. In Cairo's world, fire was something you ran from. Bushfires licking the outskirts of the city, riots sparked by hungry men with nothing left to lose, police torches slicing through darkness when they came for you at night. But Ember Reyes had never run from fire. She was fire. The nickname followed her long before the wanted posters did, whispered in underground garages and border towns, scrawled in chalk on safe-house walls. Rogue Ember. A girl who burned her own path. A woman who refused to belong to anyone. Not gangs, not governments, not fear. Cairo City sprawled beneath the dawn like a wounded beast, steel ribs exposed, neon scars flickering even as the sun rose. Ember stood on the rooftop of a half-abandoned hotel, wind tugging at her jacket, ash-gray smoke drifting up from somewhere far below. Sirens wailed. They always wailed. 3 minutes, Malik said into her earpiece. After that, this place turns into a furnace. Ember smiled, sharp and calm. You always say that, and I'm always right. Before the fire spreads any further, take a second. If stories like this pull you in, if you enjoy worlds that feel alive and dangerous, tap the like button. Subscribe to the channel for more cinematic stories like this, and turn on notifications so you do not miss what comes next. Now, back to the fire. She glanced back through the shattered skylight behind her. Inside, Vicky was crouched over a hard case, fingers flying as she cracked the biometric seal. Sweat beaded on her dark brow, curls plastered to her forehead. Genius hacker, former med student, one bad choice away from prison, or worse. And Jasper stood watch by the stairwell, massive frame blocking the narrow entrance, knuckles white around a shotgun that had seen too much blood. Ex-cop, disgraced, loyal to the bone. Friendship, Ember thought, wasn't built in peace. It was forged in moments like this, when the air smelled like ozone and panic, when every second could be your last. Got it, Vicky hissed. The case popped open with a soft click. Inside lay the drive. Small, ordinary, deadly. Project Helios. The reason 3 people were about to set half of Cairo City on fire. Ember dropped through the skylight, boots crunching glass. She scooped the drive and slid it into her inner pocket. Time to go. Too late. The building shuddered as something heavy slammed into the lower floors. Boots thundered. Shouts echoed up the stairwell. Jasper swore. They're early. They're always early, Malik muttered. I'm pulling the car around. You've got 1 shot. Ember didn't hesitate. She ran. They tore down the back stairs as bullets chewed concrete behind them. The building was old, its bones tired, each step a gamble. Smoke bloomed below tear gas, the kind that clawed into your lungs and turned vision into fire and tears. Vicky stumbled. Ember grabbed her arm, hauled her forward. Eyes on me, she said. Don't stop. They burst out into an alley just as the sky split with the chop of rotor blades. A drone hovered above, spotlight flaring. Jasper fired once. The drone exploded in a shower of sparks. Rogue Ember, indeed. They vaulted over trash, slid through shadows, and dove into Malik's waiting cars. Bullets stitched the pavement behind them. Tires screamed. The city swallowed them whole. Only when they crossed the river and the skyline faded did anyone breathe. For a moment, there was only the hum of the engine and the pounding of hearts. Then Vicky laughed, hysterical, breathless. We're alive, Jasper snorted, barely. Ember stared out the window, watching dawn smear pink across the clouds. Her reflection stared back at her, scar on her cheek, eyes burning with something between rage and hope. Helios wasn't just data, it was proof. Proof that the syndicate, the shadowy alliance of corporations and officials that ran Cairo from behind glass towers, had been siphoning energy from the city's poorest districts, leaving blackouts, sickness, deaths, all to power private cities beyond the borders. If Helios went public, the world would burn. If it didn't, Cairo would. You know what this means, Malik said quietly. Ember nodded. They won't stop. They'll come for us. They already are. They didn't make it to the safe house. The ambush hit them on the coastal highway. Black SUVs, precision driving, no sirens, professional. Jasper returned fire as Malik swerved, but there were too many. A truck clipped them. Metal screamed. The world flipped. Ember came to with sand in her mouth and pain singing through her bones. The car lay on its side, smoking. Waves crashed somewhere nearby. Gunfire echoed. "Vicky!" she shouted. "I'm here!" Vicky coughed, crawling free. Jasper dragged Malik from the wreck, blood pouring from a gash in his leg. "We're pinned!" Ember scanned the cliffs, eyes narrowing. She saw the old smuggler's path winding up the rocks, a route she'd run once, years ago, when she was still learning how to survive. "Up," she said. "Now." They ran again. They always ran. By nightfall, they were ghosts in the highlands, hiding in a burned-out monastery where wind howled through broken arches like mourning voices. Malik's wound was bad. Infection bad. Vicky did what she could, hands shaking. "We can't stay off-grid forever." "No," Ember agreed. She pulled out the drive, its surface catching firelight. "Which means we finish this." Jasper looked at her, eyes heavy. "You sure about this path, Em?" She met his gaze. "I stopped being sure the day I decided to care." That was the truth of it. Once, Ember had been alone, faster, safer, but friendship had a way of lighting fires you couldn't put out. The syndicate struck 3 days later. Drones, mercenaries, fire raining from the sky. The monastery burned. They fought their way out, desperation sharpening every move. Jasper went down, covering their retreat, taking a bullet meant for Ember. She dragged him through smoke and flame, screaming his name as the world collapsed. They reached the ravine at dusk, cornered. Malik was barely conscious. Vicky clutched the transmitter, their last chance to upload Helios to the open net. Ember turned to face the mercenaries advancing through the smoke. This was what fire was for. She triggered the charges she'd planted hours earlier, collapsing the ravine walls in a roar of stone and flame. The blast threw her back, knocked the breath from her lungs, seared her skin. When she woke, the sky was clear. The mercenaries were gone. So was the path behind them. Vicky's hands shook as she powered up the transmitter. "If I send this, there's no going back." Ember smiled weakly. There never was. The upload bar crept forward. Somewhere, servers cracked, screens lit up, the world watched. Project Helios went viral in under 10 minutes. Cities erupted, investigations launched, the syndicate burned. And Rogue Ember? She disappeared. Months later, in a border town where the desert met the sea, a woman with a scarred cheek lit a match and watched it burn down to her fingers before flicking it into the sand. Fire, after all, didn't destroy everything. Sometimes it showed the way forward. Behind her, laughter drifted from a small cafe, Vicky arguing with Malik, Jasper pretending not to smile. Ember turned toward them, eyes warm, untamed. The journey wasn't over, but for the first time, the fire wasn't just hers alone.